Hi, I'm Shayna Meyer.
Hi, I'm Ashley Borchers.
I'm Bethany York.
We're the three seniors from the Russia Lady Raiders.
Fish Report Live is starting right now.
Go Raiders!
Coming to you live from Studio F in Russia, Ohio, it's the Fish Report Live Show with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Welcome, everyone, to another Fish Report Live. It is Wednesday night, January 16th. Thanks for joining us. My name's Craig Fissinger. That's Ken Francis. As always, TK and Heavy D back in our sound room again. And Ken, it's been a busy 8 days. Not only did we have the show last Wednesday and tonight, but we slipped in the first ever Catholic Fish Report Live on Friday, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We had that Friday night, and great turnout, and appreciate the committee that did a super job on that. And we had 6 fine athletes from the Russia area that spoke with us, and just a lot of fun.
Yeah, 2 guys that deserve a little of that credit are our guys back in the sound room there. TK did an awesome job with our audio and video, and Heavy D was actually our headliner up on stage. And if that guy isn't the funniest guy I know, Ken, I don't know who is.
You're right there. You know, he kept them on the edge of their seat all night, and was just real entertaining. And like you said, TK just did a great job with the PowerPoint presentation and the videos.
All right, well, we got a big show coming up tonight. We're going to be talking some Lady Raiders girls basketball. Ken and the 3 seniors, Shayna Meyer, Bethany York, and Ashley Borchers. We're going to have them on a little bit later. And then we're also going to be talking to the voice of Darke County sports, Scott Ward from WTGR 97.5 over in Greenville. Going to have him on. Going to talk a little Darke County basketball with him. So it sounds like a big show. But before we get to all that, just like we do every week, let's get to that weekly trivia question. What do you got for me tonight?
Well, Craig, you've been hot. You've gotten 5 in a row, so I'm going to step out of the box here a second, all right? And I know it's basketball season, but we're going to go to the other OHSAA sport that's going on right now, and you might even not even know this is a sport, but it's hockey.
Hockey.
Ohio high school hockey was established in 1978. It has 1 division, and so it's been going on for 35 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and but what's interesting is every state champion but 1 has been located in the northern part of Ohio. And when I say northern part of Ohio, I mean really far north. Okay, north of Findlay. You know where Findlay is, right?
Sure.
All right, well, only 1 team south of Findlay has ever won the state championship in hockey.
Okay.
All right, and the options here are A, Upper Arlington, which is in Columbus, B, Centerville, C, Cincinnati St. Xavier, or D, Dublin Kaufman.
Wow.
So which one of them 4 teams has won a state hockey title?
I noticed like Fort Laramie wasn't a choice, or Minster. Or
No, I don't think they ever made it very far.
Okay, all right. Well, that's going to be a tough one. I want to need a little help on that one. Maybe the viewers out there can text me or tweet me any suggestions that they have. All right, well, let's get to some girls basketball, Ken, and just a couple non-league games last night I want to go over real quick. First game I want to talk about, Jackson Center traveled to Waynesville Goshen. How'd that one turn out?
Well, you know, Waynesville Goshen's got a pretty nice team this year, Craig. Jackson Center is awful young. You know, they're struggling along a little bit. And Waynesville Goshen came away with a big win there, 66-31. And, you know, Jackson Center, they're continuing to get better. But, you know, their future looks bright because they got some awful young kids playing right now.
Yeah. I know the girl that I've been talking about the last couple of weeks a little bit, Kaylee Patton, actually had a big game, almost a triple-double, 16 points, 11 boards, 8 assists. They're actually leading that Northwest Central Conference right now. So Waynesville Goshen might be hearing a little bit more about them as tournament comes. closer. And Fort Laramie traveled on the road against a good MAC opponent at Fort Recovery, and how'd that one turn out?
Well, now that one was a good game. I expected a tough contest here. The Lady Redskins traveled to Fort Recovery. Fort Recovery's got a very nice team this year. And Fort Laramie came away with an impressive non-league win, 65-58 over a really good Fort Recovery team. Balanced scoring attack led the Redskins. Darian Rose, of course, like she's done all year, with 18 points. Renee Meyer chipped in 12, and Megan Imwally had a nice game, scoring 9 points. And so it was a good game and a good Shelby County League MAC battle and a good win for the Redskins.
And I got another name for you, Ken. I'm good about bringing up these names that you've never heard of. A girl by the name of Tori Lenhartz, though, over there at Fort Recovery. She's actually leading the northern half of the, MAC conference and scoring with about 16 points per game. Mm-hmm. She actually had 26 last night against Laramie. Wasn't enough, but a big game for her, and pay attention to that name.
She must be good. She scored 26 against that defense.
All right. Well, I know that didn't change our Shelby County League standings last night's game, but let's take a look at the standings and see where we're at this week.
Well, Anna continues to roll along. They're 8-0 in the league, trailed real close by Fort Laramie. Rushie's still in the hunt at 5-2. Bakken's right in the middle of the pack here at 4-3. And then you've got Houston at 3-6, and then Jackson Center and Fairlawn bringing up the rear. So, the league has been top-heavy the last several years. I think it is this year. I see no changing in that. And but tomorrow night, Rushie's got a chance to throw a little wrinkle into that.
Yeah, and last Thursday kind of had a light schedule, but this Thursday it's a full schedule. Let's take a look at what's coming up tomorrow night.
Well, it sure is. Like I said just a second ago, Rushie will be traveling to Fort Laramie in the key league game of the night. Also, you're going to have Bakken's at Anna, Houston at Fairlawn, and then a non-league game, Craig, that actually on paper is going to be very interesting because both these teams need a win really bad. Jackson Center traveling to Lehman, which will probably be a pretty good basketball game.
Yeah, a lot of good games coming up tomorrow night. And like you said, Rushie going to Fort Laramie, and it seems like a lot of Rushie's games have been on the road lately. Just how long has it been since they've played at home?
Well, it's been, honestly, it's going to be a month between home games. December 20th was their last home game, and Saturday, they're at Laramie Friday. Saturday, they go to Versailles to play. So, it doesn't get any easier for the Raiders, but I'm sure they're ready for some home cooking.
Yeah, well, we actually had a chance last night to stop into one of Alan King's practices and talk to three of the senior Lady Raiders that we mentioned at the top of the show, and we asked them just about that long road stretch, and let's see what they had to say.
It's been since December 20th, since your last home game. How much do you miss playing your home games here at Claire C. Nouveau Gymnasium, and how important is the home court advantage?
Of course I miss a lot playing here. We practice every day here, so it's always comfortable being here. And we usually have a bigger fan section at home, so that's always nice to play with fans. Home court advantage, it is what you make of it. You just have to go into every game with the right attitude. So in my opinion, it doesn't matter where we play. We're there to play. So.
Playing at home isn't as big of a deal, though, for me personally at least. I think we can perform in any gym, anywhere.
Yeah, seeing our student section was always a nice confidence booster. It really helped us get motivated and playing our game better. And
speaking of home court, Thursday night you're going to be traveling to Fort Laramie for a big Shelby County League game. The last time the two teams got together, Fort Laramie beat you by 12 points. What will it take this time for the Lady Raiders to go into Fort Laramie and get a W?
I think it'll take two main things. First, just playing our way, not letting them dictate how we play. Just playing Rushie Lady Raider basketball. The second main thing is just playing with confidence and not letting the name on the front of their jersey affect our play, because it's just 5-on-5 like every other game.
I think if we just come out really aggressive and strong and play our way, which is the Lady Raider basketball way, we can put up a really good fight and we can take care of the game.
As a senior, Shayna, what role have you taken to become a big leader on this Lady Raider team?
I think the biggest thing that seniors can do is just lead by example, whether it be in the off season, showing up to everything, showing your commitment to the team. In season, during practices, practicing hard, having good attitudes, and always giving your best. Just leading by example, because the underclassmen look to you for how to play. So I think that's the main thing that seniors can do. We try to do it every day.
I think the main thing is just trying your hardest and doing what you can to make the lower classmen look up to you. And
I think senior leadership is really important. All the underclassmen, of course, look up to you, and you have a lot of experience. You've been playing in the gym for 3 years. This is your 4th year on the team. And I think it's an easy way to make underclassmen feel comfortable with the game and to carry them along with you.
All right, Ken, those were seniors Shayna Meyer, Bethany York, and Ashley Borchers. I want to go back to the sound room and talk to the guys back there. They know a lot about the Raiders and the Redskins for that matter. And ask you guys, you got any comments on tomorrow night's game or give us a little preview?
All right, thanks, guys. This is TK. As you said, mentioned earlier, Kenny, this is a chance for the Raiders to stick their foot in the standings there a little bit and try and stay at least with Laramie, hand them their second defeat if they can. Looking at the matchup from last time, early December, I think we know it all along. Darian Rose is the engine that runs that machine up at Laramie. We keep her in control, and that can really, I think, rile that team up a little bit, especially on the offensive end. The other side of it, it's their defense, we all know, is swarming and takes a lot of balls away. So we got to be careful. We got to be controlled with that basketball and not have a lot of turnovers. I think those are big keys to the game. I think Rushi can go in there and surprise those guys. I think they had a couple of big wins. Laramie did against Fort Recovery. Hopefully they're looking past us after some of the recent wins they put on us, and I think we can go in there and take one from them.
Yeah, good comments, TK. They did come off that big win against Fort Recovery. They, in the back of their mind, they know if they want to have Fort Laramie knows if they want to have a shot at the title, they got to get past Rushi and the other county teams to be able to take a shot at Anna for the title. Got a couple players back. Reggie Brandewy, who was out earlier in the year with an ACL. She's played the last 6 games. She's playing injured, but it's her senior year, and she's gonna go out with a bang. She's been averaging about 8 to 10 minutes right now per game in the last 6 games. Real strong team leader for the Redskins, being a senior. I know Coach Siegel's looking to have her back in the lineup. She's a big inspiration for the team and big team leader. Also new this time against another look for the Raiders is freshman Jessica Berger. She's playing quite a bit more varsity now. Coach Siegel comments that she's starting to lead the team in block shots and is near the top of the team in assists and steals. So freshman coming on strong there for him.
All right, great stuff, guys. And TK, you actually had a comment you were telling me before the show about a girl hitting for 50, I think, this week.
Craig, and my almost neighborly basketball update. We had one last week from Tecumseh. This one comes from Urbana High School. Tricia Lacey hit 50 points in an Urbana win just last week. I think we talked about her a little bit last year. She had some big games, so obviously a quality player over there in Urbana, and I imagine we'll hear a little bit more from her before this season's done.
All right, good stuff, guys. Ken, one of the games you mentioned before was that Botkins-Anna game. I want to ask you, if Botkins could play the perfect game, and I think everybody wants to know how you beat Anna. Well, I guess you got to play the perfect game, but if Botkins could play the perfect game and beat Anna, what do they got to do? Obviously, to beat Anna, you got to be able to handle their press. And I think Botkins did a decent job of that last game they played him. Unfortunately, they were for 1 for 6 on layups, and that doesn't help.
That doesn't help. And if anybody can create a game plan to play the perfect game, it would be Don Mack.
Sure.
Okay. Don's been a great leader for that Trojan Lady Botkins team, and he just does a phenomenal job. So Don Mack would be a great choice to create that plan. However, to beat Anna, himself and his kids are going to have to control tempo. It's all about tempo. No matter what the game plan is that Coach Mack creates, they still have to control the tempo of the game. And Anna's goal always is to get you in that up and down pace, to get you to play so fast you're out of your comfort zone, and that's why Anna's so tough to beat. And they've got, you talked about Darian Rose before. When you look at Anna, they've really got 2 engines that run their motor. Mm-hmm. Okay, they've got Erica Huber, they've got Natalie Billing. They're just powerful. So like I said, I think Botkins can do it, but you said they have to play a perfect game to be down.
Yeah, Erica Huber just relentless on defense, Ken, and Natalie Billing. What all I'll say about her is she's played a ton of basketball over the years. She's probably for a basketball IQ got as good as basketball IQ as anyone, and they just they're probably one of the best passing teams that we've probably ever seen in a long time.
I agree. They're just very smart. They've played a lot of games too, and that goes back to if you look at how many games these two girls have played, they've probably almost played the equivalent of over 5 years of high school basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going to be tough to beat. It's definitely going to take a perfect game. All right, well, that's going to do it for our girls basketball talk. We're going to take a short little break here. When we come back, we'll have the voice of Darke County Sports, Scott Ward from WTGR. So stay there, and we'll be right back.
Raised by a single mother in the heart of the Midwest. She grew up, didn't have too much trouble, cause her mom worked hard for everything they had. She never knew her father, only knew that he was gone. She would wake to her mother crying and an empty bottle laying on the floor. Yeah. Teen with open face, she was gonna leave this town, but she fell in love, had a son, now she's paying rent on an old farmhouse. Got a job in a factory downtown, pushing out on wheels. Now it's porch cars and blue bandanas, there will be guest streams for you and me. All the mornings they are dancing on this side of town. She likes to smoke, takes a talk, it's just another day of a fairy tale. Oh, it's just black coffee.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the second half of Fish Report Live. Ken, before the break, we were talking girls basketball. Now we're going to talk a little boys basketball, and let's start out talking Shelby County League basketball. One league game last night, and it was a big one.
Yes, it was. A battle of the two second-place teams. Fairlawn went to Botkins. A big game, high-scoring game, Craig. Botkins came out the winner in that one, 79-71. Another big win for the Botkins Trojans, as they move into a sole possession of second place in the Shelby County League standings. Josh Schwartz led the Trojans with 24 points, and a big game from high-scoring Anthony Gillum from Fairlawn. He poured in 31.
Yeah, a lot of three-pointers, like you said. And one of our Fish Report scouts was actually out in the field giving us the scoop on the game. He said Botkins did a good job on defense, playing different zone defense, the matchup, a 2-3, and he said that was the right thing to do against Fairlawn.
Yeah, I read about it in the paper tonight. Sounds like they really mixed it up a lot on Fairlawn and kept them off balance.
All right. Well, speaking of Botkins, they had a big game last Friday night at Russia, and it was right before our Fish Report Live that we mentioned at the top of the show, and that was a big game for the Raiders, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a huge game, a big win for Russia, a big league win, and it was a good crowd that night, and just a great finish, some great plays, and a well-played game by both teams.
Yeah, we actually got our hands on a few highlights, and I just kind of want to show the viewers out there a couple of the highlights from the game. And guys, why don't you roll that, and I'll talk us through it here. All right, this was a Bryce Dews dunk here, and if you'll notice here, Trevor Sherman makes a nice pass to Dews cutting towards the basket here, and Bryce Dews jammed it home. And let's take a look at that one again in slow motion in case you missed it there. Like I said, Bryce cut to the basket real nice, just a perfect pass, and that really gets the crowd going. And then, Ken, I believe at the end of the game, Rushi's down 1 point, right?
Down 1 point with 2.4 seconds to go, and quite a finish this was.
Yeah, the nice little lob pass in here to Bryce Dews again. Gets a nice look at the basket. And he just misses here, but Nolan Francis comes back with a stick back at the buzzer to win the game. Russia really excited there. Let's take a look at that one again in slow motion. And like I said, right after Bryce misses this shot, you notice Nolan just cutting towards the basket. Real smart play there. again for the stick back. And the Raiders picked up the victory with that one, big in a big SEL game.
Yes, it was. It was a big game. A big game on both ends. Russia needed that win just to get things rolling again, and Botkins needed it as well to maintain pace with Jackson Center. So good win for the Raiders, and then they came back Saturday night with another win at Springfield Catholic. So it's good to see them get 2 wins in a row.
And with Botkins' win last night, they actually they jumped in the standings a little bit. And let's take a look at that, Ken.
Yes, they did. Actually, you got the girls' standings up there, but here we go. Jackson Center's up at top of the league standings at 5-1. Botkins sitting at 4-2, and Fairlawn's in third place now at 4-3. Russia just a game out of third place now behind Fairlawn with a big game coming up Friday night at Jackson Center. And then to show you the balance in the league this year, Fort Loramie, Anna, and Houston all at the bottom of the league standings, but already with 2 wins apiece. So, anything can happen in this league this year, and it's been proven the last several weeks that anything can happen and anything will.
All right, and a lot of big games coming up Friday night for the boys. Let's take a look at the schedule for Friday night, guys.
Yeah, some really good games on tap here. Houston will be traveling to Anna. Anna's been playing very good basketball lately. Fairlawn with a big game at Fort Loramie. A contrast of styles there where Fairlawn continues to try to push it up the floor. We'll see if Fort Loramie can maintain the tempo there or not. And then the big game that we'll be at, Craig, Russia at Jackson Center. A really big game for the first-place Tigers trying to hold off those second-place teams, and Russia trying to mix things up a little bit and going to Jackson Center to play a team that, they played earlier in the year, and it was a very good basketball game. Jackson Center won by 5 points.
Yeah, if Russia could happen to pick up the win in that one, Ken, it's really going to make those standings interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, well, listen, we talk a lot of Shelby County basketball here, but you and I both know that there's a lot of good basketball played just next door over in Mercer County and also in Darke County. And one guy that does a great job of bringing that to us in the area here every week is the station manager and the sports director over at WTGR 97.5 over in Greenville, Scott Ward. And I believe we have him on the phone right now. He's the voice of Darke County sports. Scott, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, thanks. Guys, appreciate it and glad to be here.
All right. Well, first of all, I just called you the voice of Darke County sports. Can you explain to our viewers out there which sports you cover and typically which teams you focus on?
We cover a lot of different sports from the beginning of August, from football all the way through spring and softball. Football season, we pretty much concentrate on Versailles football. We'll pick up some playoff teams at Versailles. This past year we did some Covington and Tri-County North. We then go into the basketball season, concentrating on Versailles probably for 8 straight years now, both boys and girls. In the past couple of years, we picked up Tri-Village boys and girls. And then when it comes spring, we wait and do some play-by-play when it gets into the playoffs or the tournament with some baseball. And here for the past probably 5 or 6 years, we've done Greenville Lady Waves softball. And then most of the time, some Versailles baseball, too.
Wow, you're a busy guy. Approximately how many games are you broadcasting per year?
Well, our station, there's 3 of us that'll do it, but our station last year covered approximately 137 games between those sports I mentioned, and like I said, 3 guys.
Wow. All right, well, listen, on Fish Report Live, Scott, we talk a little Darke County basketball, but we typically focus on the Shelby County League, and just to let you know, Ken and I here, we're a couple Russia homers, so we talk a lot about the Raiders, but any chance you'll be covering some Russia games in the future?
Well, if we're talking this year, Saturday and next Saturday, we'll be doing the girls this Saturday live on our radio station, and then next Saturday we'll have the boys live on the radio station. So we're kind of quite excited about that, especially after last year's thriller over there in Russia for the Versailles boys, Russia. And then we'll occasionally, if there's some Darke County teams playing Russia, that's when we'll pick it up. But we focus pretty much all on Darke County, as we're the only commercial station in Darke County.
Scott, hi, this is Ken Francis. And you mentioned Tri-Village before. First of all, one of our favorite athletes from Tri-Village, we've actually had him on our show before. I don't know if you've ever heard of a young athlete over there by the name of Clayton Murphy or not, but Clayton's been on our show before.
Yeah, Clayton is an extremely good athlete. I think he's heading to Akron to run some cross country or some track, and he's been up there top of the board every year, right along with Sam Prakel, from Versailles. So Clayton has a lot of he's looked highly upon down in the village of New Madison.
Yep, we've had him and Sam as well also on our show before. But let's talk a little boys basketball, Scott. And, you talked about Versailles. You've seen Versailles a lot, so obviously you've seen a lot of MAC teams play basketball this year on boys basketball. In your opinion, who's the team to beat in the MAC in boys basketball?
Well, going into this weekend, I've seen, besides Versailles, of course, I've seen 4 other teams, New Bremen, New Knoxville, Parkway, and St. Henry. And, of course, St. Henry was this past Friday night when Versailles fell to St. Henry. And tell you what, St. Henry looks pretty tough in the MAC. But for recovery, they're 1 and 2 in the league, but I'll tell you what, they're still a good team with the Gelhaft and the Collie kid. And I can't overlook New Bremen. They just noticed they came out and they're state ranked. Versailles got them earlier in the season, but I would say Versailles, Fort Recovery, New Bremen, and maybe even St. Henry is the top favorite in the MAC. But that's one thing I enjoy about MAC basketball, and I think high school basketball overall anyway, is you just never know each and every night.
Well, like they've said before, sometimes it's tougher to win the MAC than it is to win a state championship, and that might be the way it is this year because you mentioned some really good basketball teams right there. So let's talk about Versailles just for a moment, and more specifically super sophomore Kyle Arns. He's building a pretty big reputation, not just in this area, not just in Ohio, but actually nationally. In your opinion, how good is this young man?
Oh, man, he is he's good. Only being a sophomore, halfway through his sophomore year, he's smooth. He can play all positions. We've seen that so far. Tell you what, he can take over a game. He's willing to help his teammates. I've seen a lot of great no-look passes that you wouldn't expect a sophomore in high school to see. Tell you, he's if not one of the best, if not the best in the area, one of the best. And Mike Sokid from St. Henry and Kyle Pippinger from Tri-Village are ranked right up there. But tell you what, he's fun to watch. I've seen a lot of other kids and parents from other schools come out just to see him play. But the nice thing I like about him, he's down to earth. He's definitely got no big ego. He'll talk to anybody and everybody. And he's going to be fun to watch them not only the next couple years in high school, but when he goes up to that next step in college.
Well, you're right there when you mentioned a good kid. I know Kyle, and I know his parents, and great kid, great family, and you're right, very down to earth and phenomenal basketball player. You talked about Tri-Village a little bit before. I see they're ranked 5th in the state right now. They're sitting at 13-0. I question the strength of their conference, the CCC. And this morning I opened the paper and I see they whipped up on a pretty good Miami East team last night. How legit are these guys?
They're legit. Last year they got beat by Jackson Center in the district in overtime. Last night I got the advantage of the privilege of calling that game last night against Miami East. And when you outscore Miami East 41-10 in the second half, that's pretty special, and I think shows something for them. A young coach, you have guys of Kyle Pippinger, 4 other guys that are averaging double figures. I think this is a pretty legit team, and I think that they can definitely make a run. And the folks down at Tri-Village definitely think that too. Josh Sagaster, young coach, 33 years old. And yeah, they do come out of the cross-county conference. Miami East, one of the better teams. They have a tough game this week at Covington, and they still have to play at Bethel, the other 2 top teams in the cross-county conference. So, but yes, I think they are legit, and they can make a deep run for the not only cross-county conference, but for Darke County.
All right, Scott. Hey, one more question, and we'll let you go. But with all the games that you cover, certainly there's a funny story or two you have out there. Give us as an example of when something maybe didn't go right for you during a broadcast. Because for Ken and I, it happens usually a couple times every show. But give us an example of maybe when, I know it's probably rare, but when something maybe didn't go so right during a broadcast.
I kind of thought about this, and, each and every night, that's one thing I like about it. It's something different. But, I've had a lot of good ones. I've been yelled at by former Bowling Green coach and ESPN analyst Dan Dockich when I was in college, when I was taping an interview. But probably the most, I don't want to say maybe the funniest, but maybe didn't go right, kind of go along with it, would be when the Versailles girls Tiger basketball team won state in 2008. First game of the tournament was an 89-3 win. I've never done a game that was so, different. A three-pointer hit by one Preble Shawnee girl, and then to call a game like that is just, it's very difficult to keep fans interested. And then later that year we get snowed in Columbus for a state championship. We're there for 3 days and have to go back on a Monday. So, you learn a lot right there, and it was a fun time. And I think those two, especially that state championship year and being snowed in Columbus, I'll talk about that till probably my eventually many moons from now, my grandkids, and I can tell them that story.
All right. Well, listen, hey, that was great stuff, Scott. We'll let you go. We want to thank you for joining us tonight. It's been fun talking to you, and we look forward to hearing you call some games on 97.5 WTGR.
Hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate it, and have a great evening.
All right.
Thanks, Scott.
All right. That was Scott Ward from WTGR. Ken, first time I've ever talked to him. Sounds like a pretty good guy.
Great job lining him up. That's a great interview right there, and I'd like to sit down and talk to him sometime. He knows a lot about basketball.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was going to end our boys basketball talk, but I see something flashing up on the screen. These guys got another food review for us. I thought maybe they were going to be empty-handed this week, but it sounds like they got something to talk about.
They must have something, so let's roll back to the sound room.
Mute. You get your mutes on.
Yeah, we did take the week off. I know TK ventured.
Wait a second. What you grow some facial hair here during our segment here?
We're working hard back here. We took the week off. We're looking forward to heading to Fort Laramie. The boosters there always put on a pretty good feed, and so that's tomorrow night. We'll have some comments on that next week. And I know Tim ventured to Springfield Catholic, and something interesting happened there, Tim.
Yeah, guys, I didn't quite make it to the concession stand to do a review there. I kind of missed my job, but one thing I saw, a first ever for me in a high school, you could buy shirts and jerseys. You could have them custom made. I think I ended up buying one for one of my daughters that says Catholic Central Wrestling on it. So we're proud owners of a Catholic Central Springfield Wrestling t-shirt in my house, and you can get anything you want in there. It was quite the little setup.
Yeah, I saw that was something else there. They had their own little store going on there.
That was a good night over there in Springfield. There was alumni there sitting on Rushi's side, rooting for the Raiders and everything. So it was pretty neat.
And Ken, if our viewers out there didn't understand why Heavy D was our headliner on Friday night, I think they probably do now.
They know now, yeah.
All right. Well, hey, listen, that's going to do it for our boys basketball talk tonight. And I know we still have that trivia question. I was hoping maybe we'd forget about it because it's a tough one. What is it again?
Well, who is the only high school hockey team? We're talking hockey. Who is the only team south of Findlay to ever win the Ohio State Championship? This has been going on for 35 years, and there's only one school south of Findlay. That's taken, all of Columbus, all of Dayton, all of Cincinnati, everybody thrown together. Only one time have they won state. Is it Upper Arlington, Centerville, Cincinnati St. Xavier, or Dublin Kaufman?
All right. Well, I might ruin my five show winning streak here, but I'm going to go way south, and I'm going to go down to Cincinnati St. Xavier.
You know what, Craig? That's a good guess, but you're wrong.
Oh.
The answer is in 1979, the second ever state hockey championship went to the Elks of Centerville.
Wow.
You mentioned Troy before. I think Troy was really good that year. At the same conference,
Yeah.
on the G-Walk.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
we cover some G-Walk once in a while.
We do. We cover a little G-Walk.
So anyways, I kind of went off the wall tonight, but, hey, I stumped you, so I broke your winning streak.
All right. I'll have to study up on my hockey.
No more hockey questions.
Okay, great. All right, well, that's going to do it for us tonight, Ken. I want to thank our guests tonight, those three seniors for the Lady Raiders. Also want to thank Scott Ward for joining us live tonight. And for the crew here at Fish Report Live, thanks for watching. Be sure to tune in again next week, same time, same place. And have a great rest of the week, everyone, and good night.
From Studio F in Russia, Ohio, for Ken Francis, Craig Fissinger, and TK, this is Heavy D, signing off saying good night and good fishing.